Hi and welcome to this week's edition of the MSP Growth Academy. It's Rick over here at Zedsphere, and today I want to talk about something that's massively important to most MSP businesses, and that is how you compensate your salespeople. Now, there are a lot of MSPs out there, especially in the UK market, that have only one person or one or two people on the sales side, and actually recruiting the right kind of sales staff is massively difficult. But working out their compensation package, especially if you're from a technical background, is really hard to do. And compensation packages for salespeople are renowned for being complex, complicated, based on loads of different targets, etc. And so there's a really simple formula here to use to employ in your business. I'm going to take you through that in a moment. But first of all, I want to emphasize the value of having a sales professional in your company, especially if you've got a managed service business that is from a technical pedigree. There are so many MSPs out there that were set up by a group of individuals who were techies, and they've gone on and created a business, and there isn't actually a sales heritage or a business development heritage professional in the team. So it's massively important. So I would really recommend recruiting a professional salesperson into your business. Something that it's important to bear in mind is that the IT channel, the IT sales channel, is absolutely abundant with incredibly talented sales professionals. The IT channel for product sales has been around for decades. These are companies and people that are really clued up on how to sell and the science behind selling as well. And so really consider talking to one of those individuals if you don't have someone like that in your business already. It's also important to recognize that IT sales professionals are categorized as some of the highest paid individuals in the UK. So it's not uncommon to see well-seasoned IT sales professionals earning the same as senior doctors, lawyers, and a very senior sales manager, perhaps someone from a vendor, someone who's maybe served 10 or 15 years in the sales industry in IT. They won't be averse to a six-figure salary. So you need to bear in mind that they can be really expensive. However, it's definitely worth considering because they can bring much more value to your business than what it's actually going to cost you to have there. So I want to just talk about one particular method of compensating sales staff, and a lot of MSPs that we talk to are particularly interested in understanding how they go through a growth phase and how they target staff for growth. Okay, and so bearing in mind that most MSPs out there kind of have a hybrid model, there's an element of monthly recurring revenue and an element of project or break fix. This system does kind of tip its hat more so to the monthly recurring revenue model, because that's where the industry tends to be going. And so I'm going to kind of explain to you how this works. Okay, so it's important to structure your commission plan based on the way that your business is formatted. If you've got a monthly recurring revenue model, your commission plan should be basically structured in the same way. And so a really great model to have is a 2-for-1 model. So this basically means that for every £1 of monthly recurring margin that your salesperson brings to the business, that you should reward them with £2 of commission. Okay, and so you think, wow, that's like 2 months worth of wages, right? 2 months worth of my margin. Well, okay, fine, but if that person's generated £1,200 of margin in a contract that's going to last a year, you're giving them 200 quid basically, and it allows them to earn completely relative to their performance. It allows them to earn completely relative to the amount of revenue they've created, and it allows them to earn well as well. So this will be on top of their base salary. So the 2-for-1 model is really simple to understand, but there are some things that you kind of need to implement to make sure that you don't just pay it all up front. So when it comes to monthly rolling contracts, a really great thing to do is actually break it down into 3 sections in terms of the commission payment. So on month 2, they've won that customer, that person could have 50% of that commission. And then if the customer's retained, they can have 25% in month 6 and 25% in month 12. Now, what you might even want to do is include a clawback clause at month 4. So here, if the customer cancels within the first 4 months, you can actually claw back that piece of commission and just kind of like take it off the tab of the salesperson. That's really, really common in sales, especially in IT on monthly recurring contracts, that if that customer's lost, we take your commission back. And that actually motivates the salesperson to retain that account and make sure that that customer is well looked after. It's not just kind of like right, I've got their cash and now they're gone. This customer has to be retained throughout the life of the contract, because if they don't still exist in month 12 or in month 6, they're not going to get the other half of their commission. So, what will happen a lot of the time is, there'll be thresholds, there'll be targets to hit before you can unlock commission, and commission will often be uncapped. And so a really good way to do this actually is, you've got a choice. You can just basically, pay a base salary and start paying 2 for 1 as soon as that person starts making money. It's going to cost you a little bit more, but it does reward them for performance. Or what you can do is basically match their threshold for commission with their salary. Okay, so but you do it on a monthly basis again. So let's say, just for instance, you're paying this salesperson a base salary of £2,000 per month. That would mean if you just divide that by 12, that's 166 quid, per month that salesperson needs to hit. So they basically need to achieve £166 of monthly recurring margin from your customers before they can unlock their salary. That means they've basically, over the course of the year, they've paid the equivalent of their salary for that month, and then they can just crack on and start earning commission. Now, it's quite common for commission programs to be capped. We can say, right, we'll start you on £18,000 a year and you can earn up to £24,000 a year. But actually, do you know what? With this model, because this is based on a monthly recurring system, and it can be, there can be a threshold in place for when the salary is covered, and there is a clawback element for if the customer is not retained. My recommendation is actually to not cap the commission at all, and allow the individual to earn as much as they possibly can, because it's going to drive motivation to succeed and get more orders. In fact, you can even go a little bit further, and so you can set a target. So let's say, for example, the commission is switched on at £166, but you think that this salesperson can generate £800 per month in monthly recurring margin for you. So when they hit that 800 quid, actually you can get rid of that 2 for 1, and you can put it up to 3 for 1 if you really want to, and that acts as an accelerator. So they know that when they've got there, they can switch on this 3 for 1. They're like, oh my god, I'm gonna get that order in this month. And this prevents something that you might be familiar with called sandbagging, which means that if a salesperson has hit their target, in a month, they're not going to kind of put any more orders in, even if they've got the purchase orders or the agreement, because they know they're on target, it's fine. But if they stick the order in with an accelerator like this, they're going to basically get 30% more commission if they do that now, and you won't have that sandbagging problem at all. So this is just one type of commission program. There are loads and loads of them out there, but this is one that's particularly good for managed service providers that want to motivate a sales manager or a sales team to really kick in and get it out there, especially if you've got a very technical focus. You just want them to be motivated by the money, basically, rather than you having to get in there and G them up all the time. They know what they can achieve. It's very, very rewarding. This methodology builds out a fantastic package for a salesperson, and a salesperson who is more likely to be retained by you and stick with you as a company as the years go by. So I hope that's been useful. Please feel free to subscribe. We're here every week, and check out our website at zedsphere.com, and thanks for watching. Bye for now.